Today we have with us Dr. Joonseo Song, and I've known Joonseo for many years and worked with him as a collaborator. He is a historian, and his original studies were at Michigan State University, and he's professor at Hankook University of Foreign Studies in Korea, within the Institute of Russian Studies, where in addition to teaching and conducting research, he is also the managing editor for the journal Region, which I've discussed and publicized a little bit to all of the participants here and the Scholars Without Borders. And he's here today to tell us some more about publishing in international journals. Region has published lots of manuscripts from researchers, especially from the region, who work in the region. And some of these manuscripts, when they're submitted, they may be intellectually very strong, but sometimes they have some other issues. And as we all know, publication, especially in international journals, in English language journals, as Region is an important key to having an upward career track as an international academic. And so Joonseo is going to tell us some about Region, about how the process works for articles there. This may be similar or different to journals that you may have worked with within Russia, Ukraine, or other countries. And then he'll take questions from you about articles and publishing. So, Sasha, did you want any word, or should we go right to Joonseo?
No, I have nothing to say. I'm just very glad that Joonseo found time. And I should explain that probably the timing of this talk is not perfect for many of our members, but it's because Joonseo is in Korea. And what's the time difference? It's probably how many hours ahead of Moscow?
I think Korea is 6 hours ahead. So yes. Here in the United States, I'm 7 hours behind, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning for me. So
yes. For you, then it's especially difficult.
Compromises.
Yeah, but we'll make a video recording and we will put it on our YouTube channel for everybody else to have the opportunity to listen to this talk. So thank you so much, Joonseo, for finding time for us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Joonseo, you can take it away.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dan and Sasha. Well, Dan is one of my close colleagues who have been working as an editor of our journal Region. So yeah, thank you. Your good, kind introduction today. I'm Joonseo Song, managing editor of the journal Region, Regional Studies of Russia, Eastern Europe, and Central Asia. This is the full name of our journal, but in short form, we call it just Region. Yeah, well, actually, it's great honor for me to have chance to introduce our journal to all of you today. So thank you. And then now let me explain, briefly about the journal, and then we will move to the guidelines, detailed guidelines, for who want to submit their own papers to our region. Okay, then today I prepare a PowerPoint, so I will share my PowerPoint. Okay, can you see my PowerPoint? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, first of all, about the journal. Well, our journal was created by my institute. You can see the logo of my institute at the bottom of this slide, the Institute of Russian Studies at Hanguk University of Foreign Studies in South Korea. Well, it was 2012, about 11 years ago. At that time, my institute set a goal of creating a world-leading journal in Slavic studies. So we decided to create an international journal publishing in English. At that time, as for publishers, my institute chose the Slavic publishers at Indiana University because the Slavic publishers retain a strong reputation as a prominent press that publishes significant and influential works in the field of Slavic studies. That's the story, how this journal was created in 2012. So that's why my institute chose, this is the reason that we chose the Slavic publishers as our partner. So then, as you see the slide, this journal is published twice a year, in January and in July. The aims of scope of this journal, journal region receives manuscripts on history and current political, economic, and social affairs of the former Soviet bloc, including Russia, Eastern Europe, and Central Asia. In particular, our journal welcomes research papers written from local and regional perspectives because we believe that papers based on local and regional perspectives are less frequently introduced journals in Slavic studies. So this is why the reason why we make the title of this journal, region, to emphasize our, perspective. So, for example, the journal region published, special issue on Northern Urals of Russia in 2021. And then last year, our journal published a special issue on Donbas region of Ukraine. So this is the examples of the special issues that we published in past years. So our focus on regional perspective and local perspective is one of the distinctive features that distinguish our journal from other, journals in Slavic studies. Yeah, then as for editors, our journal is a peer-reviewed journal. This means that all submissions will go through a rigorous review process by at least 2 reviewers. Frequently, the editors of our journal review the submissions, the submitted papers. So the editorial board include a total 27 scholars from several countries like Russia, United States, and United Kingdom, and Central Asian countries like Kazakhstan, and then Hungary, and Poland, and Japan and Korea too. Yeah, so this is kind of international, members. Our editorial board consists of international members in Slavic studies. Yeah, so we can claim that all editors are prominent scholars in their academic fields. And then, so to submit your manuscripts, if you want to submit your articles, research articles, you need to email the following the email address region.articles@hoops.ac.kr, and then we also accept book reviews or review articles. For reviews and review articles, you will need to email those materials to Dr. Brenda Miller, the book review editor. Yeah. And then you can definitely download the detailed submission guidelines from the following, homepages. First, Slavica homepages, Slavica publishers homepages, and Project Muse is the distributor of the regional articles. So you can also download the detailed, submission guidelines from Project Muse homepages. And also you can download those guidelines from my institute's homepage. And then you can also download all the articles or book reviews published in this journal region from the following databases like AppScore and JSTOR and Project Muse site. So yeah, it's very, if your affiliations, your institute or your universities, most of institutes subscribe these databases. So it is very easy to download the sample articles from these sites. And as for your information, our journal region is currently listed in Scopus database index, and then emerging sources citation index too. Yeah, so we are proud of this fact that our journal is now listed in these two, very famous, article databases. Okay, so well, this is the image of the Slavic publishers homepage. This is the region pages. So if you visit the Slavica, publishers homepage, you can find a region page and then go to style sheet and submission guidelines. You can download the whole pages of the guidelines from this site. And this is the image of the Project Muse site. So if you type just simply region, you can see this cover page from that site and click that cover page, and then you can check the contents of the past issues of the regions from this Project Muse site. And then how to prepare your manuscripts. Well, as I just told you, that you can download the detailed information on the submission guidelines. But today I would like to focus on especially the following, for elements, because we can, because, I frequently found that there are some, mistakes and problems in the manuscripts. especially submitted from scholars in Russia and scholars in Central Asia. So today, these four things are the point that I'd like to emphasize. Well, I think this kind of problems occur due to the differences between the writing style between the Russian and Western writing style when they write the research articles. Well, the idea or article length for region is 8,000, from 8,000 to 10,000 words. This is words, which means not bukvi, but slogan. So, but frequently I receive a very short papers, like 5,000 or less than 6,000 word, papers from scholars in Russia and in Central Asia. But the region expects a little bit longer paper, which means the author needs to add more detailed information and detailed examples. Yeah. And then regarding the citations, the region use the Chicago Manual of Style. So that means we use footnotes rather than in-text citations. Well, as you know, in this slide, the left side, the image in the left side are footnotes. You can see these footnotes. This is the region style. But sometimes scholars submitted their papers using this kind of in-text citation, which uses parentheses and with some authors and publishing year within the parentheses. But unfortunately, region use not this kind of in-text citations. We only use footnotes. And then the region article does not include the reference or bibliography at the end of each article. Instead of the bibliography, we just put information of author's affiliation like this. So this means that you need to put all the reference information in the footnotes like this. Yeah, so this is about the rule on citations for region, the journal region. And then thirdly, the transliteration. Well, the journal region requested all authors to transliterate, not translate, the Kirill alphabets. This is the examples of transliteration. Развитие внешней экономической деятельности. So, but sometimes authors in Russia and Central Asia translated this Russian phrase into English, but we don't write the translated, the information. We use the transliterate information like this. So you need to be careful when you write the reference information in the footnotes. Yeah, lastly, but this might be one of most important elements that I have to emphasize: the quality of English. Well, I'm not a native, English speaker either, but Russian scholars or scholars in Central Asian scholars or scholars in Eastern European scholars. Of course, they are not, native, English speaker. But the quality of English is very important to pass peer review process. Because with poor English, the reviewers cannot exactly understand what their authors are saying. So before you submit your manuscript, we strongly recommend you consult with a professional, native speaking, editors. Yeah, so yeah, this is very important. Yeah, and then this is the all information that I want to tell you today. Yeah, so rather short, but this is it. And if you
All right, well,
yeah, any questions, just let me know. Yeah.
yeah, if I could just chime in a little bit, also having reviewed many articles for Region, that I think one of the challenging aspects that I have seen some from some articles is the framing of the importance of the topic. That sometimes some of the articles I reviewed, they go right in to describing what the topic is and the research, and for reviewers or readers who might be in a different field or in a different country, it's not apparent why this topic is important or motivating. And so the point that the paper is making is not as clear. Whereas if a little bit of framing in the introductory section to explain why this topic is very important and we should be passionate about it as researchers and readers from different parts of the world and maybe even from different disciplines. As Joonseo was saying, there's lots of different branches of social science, but one might be submitting an article that is written by a geographer, and there might be a sociologist reviewing it. So I think this is one of the key tips, is remembering when you're submitting articles to Region, and I imagine this is true for many other Western journals, really at the beginning to make sure there is enough framing that it becomes immediately clear to the reader or reviewer, even if they're from a different background, why this particular topic is so compelling.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think Dan's point is very important one. Yeah, so in relation to the point that Dan just picked, I think the literature review is very important. Literature review should be included in the introduction. So in literature review, the author should mention, in what sense, their own research papers are, important or different from existing, research, so it is very important to mention what's the contribution of, author's own, research. Yeah, so some authors just missed that literature review, and sometimes even though they put in the literature review that is the analysis of existing research, sometimes they only cited the research written in Russian, but this is international journal. And the reader of our journal is not only Russians, but also, scholars in non-Russian or or non-Central Asian, regions. So that means the author should consult with research published not only in Russian but also in English or in other languages. Yeah.
Well, thanks,
May I ask-
Joonseo. Пожалуйста.
I have a question. Joonseo mentioned the need to name your affiliation, to give information about your affiliation. But as we know, unfortunately, many of our members, Scholars Without Borders, are currently, displaced or dispersed. They stay in many different countries, and very often they don't have any affiliation, and that's one of the big problems. So what one should do if he or she doesn't currently have an academic affiliation?
Well, until now, we published several scholars' work. They were just a freelancer, and they were not affiliated with any institute, any university. So affiliation would not be problem if the quality of the research paper, their submissions, is good enough to be published.
Well, thank you. That's very interesting and very, very important. So the quality is more important than some current affiliation, right?
Right.
And one can just say he or she is an independent scholar, and that will be enough, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
I would guess it might also be useful since the article submission is via email, and you will submit an article as an attachment in Word. In the email, it could be useful to include a scholar's former affiliation, but that would not be used as a mechanism to reject papers or accept them. But it could be a useful thing, especially for helping to discover who might be appropriate reviewers for it. If the scholar would say what department they were in, which faculty of which university, that their former affiliation was. This can help with finding proper reviewers.
Yes, that's very good point. Yeah, good advice. Thank you. Yeah. So if some scholars, as for independent scholars or the scholars who are not currently, affiliated with any institutions, it would be very helpful for us, if they send the curriculum vitae, as Dan pointed out, with their papers when they submit their own papers.
Are there some other questions? Well, it seems it was perhaps a very thorough presentation, and it covered all of the appropriate topics. I will say that I'm looking forward to hopefully serving as a reviewer and getting to see some of the research written by our Scholars Without Borders when if it's submitted to region and it's a field that I have some competency with, that I will get to hear from Joonseo about some articles in need of review for possible publication. Another consideration that I wanted to just discuss with everyone is that this journal Region, this is a journal that is mostly oriented towards social sciences, and it's a little different, of course. The standards and practices for researchers in natural sciences, medicine, biology, chemistry, etc. And we hope to have some experts from those natural sciences fields coming to give a talk to us in the next few weeks, who can help introduce some of the standards and practices for those other fields, which, especially for publication, they may be rather different than region, which region is very prototypical for more social science oriented journals.
Well, yeah, thank you. Thanks for your comments. And also, I'd like to add one more information about the English. Well, for the paper passed the peer review process, and then the paper was accepted for publication. The final version will be edited by the professional editor of Slavica publisher. Her name is Vicky Polanski. She is a wonderful editor, and she take care of the English of the final version of your paper. Yeah, so don't worry too much about the English, but first, to pass peer review process, of course, the English is very important. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been my experience reviewing papers for region, that the fine details of the words in each sentence, or for example, the use of articles, which is important in English but don't exist in other languages. These have been not such a barrier to understanding and being able to evaluate the papers that I have reviewed. And it tends to be sometimes the barriers to really understanding the value of the research have to do more with the structure of the overall paper than with each sentence being exactly correct. So each individual sentence, that's not too much of a worry. But the overall structure is much more important from my own perspective, having served as a reviewer.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah. Thank you for pointing out that. Thank you.
Well, if there's any one last chance for questions, and if not, then we can thank Joonseo. Any last opportunity for questions? Okay. Sasha, did you want to have a final word?
I just wanted to thank Joonseo for
You're welcome.
giving this talk to our community members. Thank you so much. And I hope many more people will see the video recording, and then I hope some of us will submit their articles. So thank you for giving your instructions, new ideas about what a good publication should be. Спасибо большое. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it was my pleasure. And yeah, thank you again for inviting me. Thank you. Yep. Thanks,
Joonseo, and thanks everyone else for finding the time. It's an unusual time to join us, but I hope this is a useful session. And as Sasha says, we'll put the recording up on our Scholars Without Borders YouTube channel. And we hope to be announcing another session very soon with some really interesting and useful scholarly perspectives and perspectives on integrating as Scholars Without Borders into the international market. So with that said, I will say goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Пока. Счастливо. Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.